Hey everybody, welcome to Everyday Journey. Today we're going to work on this weed eater blower. This is a gas powered blower, model number FB25, 25cc gas blower. Thing works. It's definitely not industrial grade, that's for sure, but the problem I'm having with it is this right here. You see the pull string? It doesn't like to go all the way back in there. So we're going to get into it real quick and see if we can't figure out how to get that to return every time like it should. So let's look at it real quick. Looks like the easiest, quickest way, hopefully, will be just to take this part of it off. So we'll go with that. You see we got some Allen screws right here. Let's start with that. Alright. Now we're going to take this off. That's most likely a 1/2 inch. I think I still have it on my impact. And I do. Yep, 1/2 inch. Make sure we're going in reverse. Hit that real quick. It works good to use an impact just because it'll do it a lot quicker. And a lot of times those are kind of stove up some. There we go. Just make sure and set everything down in order that you took it off. That way you know to put it back in that exact order. So now we can see we've got some more Allens right here. We still got our fuel lines connected here. So I think at the moment, since this is empty, I'm not going to worry about disconnecting that. We'll just go ahead and disconnect it from this so we can get it out of the way. Now we just put this aside. Let's see what else we got to work with here. Looks like we've got some more Allens right here, here, and here. And that should get that whole bottom piece off. So let's go ahead and take those out. Pay attention to your screws. Make sure that you're keeping everything separated so that you can put it back. As you can see, this is the difference in screws. One of them is a machine screw or a lot finer thread. This one right here is a lot more coarse thread. That's going into plastic. So you got to pay attention to that so you can put it back together properly. Also pay attention to the length of the screw, because some screws go a little further in than others, and if you don't put it back in the right order, you will definitely cause it to go through something. You don't want that to happen. And I was hoping I wouldn't have to do it, but it looks like we're going to have to take the top cover off too. So, starting with, looks like we've got some Torx here. We'll go ahead and take this cover that goes over the muffler with the exhaust. Looks like it's about T20. Again, we'll set those aside. And now we'll take these are all Allens up here on top. There's 4 of them, here, here, back here. Be careful with these because they're holding the springs for the handle. And now, there's our handle. Springs I was telling you about. Here's our top cover. We should be able to flip it and get to our bottom cover. So inside here is what deals with the pull string. That's all we need to work with at the moment, so we'll set all this aside. Now there are 2, again, Allens that are holding. It's basically a little cover, and well, let's pretend this is it right here, and it's going over the lip of it. That keeps it from being able to raise up past that. So take that off, being careful because there is a spring in there. And keep the screws with it. And then we can lift this out of here. And there doesn't seem to be any issue with this here. Most likely what it is just the spring isn't wound up in there far enough. So the best way to do that is to take this off. So let me get some needle nose pliers. If you had an issue with the pull string itself, let's say you pulled it and it broke in half, well, now you could just replace it. You can go get one from the store and replace it here, and then you'd basically be starting about where we're at right now. There we go. And we can pull this off now. Here's where I was talking about being careful with the spring. We'll go ahead and pull the spring out of here. This is the spring that we're looking at. So it fits down in here. This little hook right here goes over this plastic. So you can see right down here, that's where that hook goes. If it did pop out, you might have to wind it up inside here. You can see right there, it's starting to spring out. So you might have to wind it up inside here. And you just kind of press it in place. And then when it's in, it should be like this, and it'll hold itself in. So it kind of popped out there whenever I was messing with it. So we put the hook in there like it's supposed to be. And you can see the notch there on the side. We're going to put the string in there, and we're actually going to wind it at least a full turn. There we go. Turn it at least a full turn. Gotta keep it in that notch or else it'll catch on things. So we got it a full turn there, and now we'll place the end of the string through the hole. And you can't really see it, but you just have to trust that it just goes back through the hole. Now it wants to pull all the way back in easily. So at this point, we're just going to make sure we don't pull that out and pop that spring. At this point, we need to put our handle back on. So we feed it through, tie up our knot, and I don't remember exactly which knot that was. And then, still don't want this thing popping off of here. I want to make sure it's nice and tight. Now feed the string back in, and we can test it again. It looks like it's going all the way like it should. So now we just put it back together. And there we go. Let's see what happens. Seems to pop back in there like it should, even when we go slow. So I fixed it. One thing you want to make sure you don't do is put too much spring. Like right now, it just barely even pulls to come out to that far, and that's fine. That's all you want. If you wound it up too much, it may or may not. Well, you may not be able to pull completely out. You may have the spring wound too much. So now let's actually take this thing out and fire it up, because I have not run this now in I don't even know how long. I got it one time just as a backup, just in case my other one, whenever I was first starting out, and I got it as a backup then, and I had never even used it. I've started it up just to run it, make sure everything worked, and that's it, because the one I had never failed, so I just used it. So let's go ahead and start this up. Make sure though, if you do keep these for a long time, take the gas out of it. Once you do, try to start it several times to make sure you get all the, as much as you can anyway, get all the gas out of the carburetor, or also to just gum things up. So this has been empty the whole time. It should be good.